a shorthanded breakaway. Dinks. He scores. Marchand with a shorty.
He's not been able to get back to 30 goals, though. Here's Reinhart moving in the pass in the middle. Oh, what a save by Mason. But what a stop by Mason to keep this game slow as he absolutely robs Justin Bailey.
Morton Bouchard. Goes in there for a score. A hard shot by Oshie. And contact by Timmy. Pinball to the net. What a save by Rene. Absolutely stunning.
Panarin on the outside. Rene. Oh my gosh. Left back. Full extension. Saying to Panarin, don't bring that cheese around here, son.
Drops it back. Doughty shoots. He scores.
The game is tied. Watch this. Up the middle. Outside. Then drop and then bang.
And welcome back, Lamplighters, to another episode of Light the Lamp, brought to you by Hospital Pass Productions. My name is Kevin. I'm riding solo today. My camera guy back there, ha-cha-cha, Kyle, thought we would try a new format on the show and just have me standing, see how this goes. He says that I'm easily distracted by him. I don't think that's ever a thing, but maybe it is, and I apologize for doing this. This is not very professional, but when you got an itch, you got an itch. It's a little warm down here. We're in my basement, but it is a little warm. The air conditioning's off. We're going to press on and talk about hockey. Free agency is starting up, and the free agents that we have would be Kevin Shattenkirk, Patrick Marleau, Joe Thornton, Patrick Sharp. TJ Oshie's not a free agent because he got re-signed for 8 years to Washington. 8 years, Kyle. Like, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. So where are these free agents going to be going to? Well, it seems to me like Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau are almost a package deal. They've been playing together for so long. Bruins fans know Joe Thornton got traded to the Sharks once upon a time, a long time ago. I had a little hiccup there, and it happened. Okay, it's a thing. We're just going to move on with it. Now, Marleau's been a Shark since his very first time, his first day of being drafted in 97. Does he leave the Bay Area? Does he try to go out for get that Stanley Cup? Maybe, maybe not. He's looking to play for a contender. The Rangers, the Bruins of all teams, and I think the Sharks were one of the 3 teams on his list. He could go to Dallas because Dallas could lose Patrick Sharp, bring in a Patrick Marleau. I'll tell you this much, Kyle. A Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, and Patrick Marleau combo. That sounds pretty deadly. Pretty deadly. You're not gonna speak to the people?
No, I'm behind the camera.
You're just behind the camera. You don't want to hear the voice of the voiceless?
Voice of the voiceless.
Okay, I'm just going to talk to myself then. I could talk
you can talk to me. I
could talk to my dog. You could just nod your head, but people aren't going to see you nodding your head, and it really is hot in here. And I don't want to strip in front of the camera because that would be woo. Where were we? Oh, the free agency, of course. So Joe Thornton, maybe going to the Rangers, maybe going to the Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs could use a player like Joe Thornton. They definitely need a older forward or, grizzled veteran center that could really help out the younger guys. Thornton and Matthews would be a nice 1-2 combo on center. The Kings, but I was already on a little mini rant about this. Why would you give up a player like Joe Thornton to a player like the Kings? He's on your biggest rival. Why? I get that it's free agency. He can go wherever he wants, but I don't like the move. If you're San Jose, you try to do everything you can to be like, you can go everywhere you want except for Anaheim and Los Angeles. And that should just be Thornton on principle alone. I can't play for those 2 teams. It's sacrilegious. It would just be like if the Bruins had Patrice Bergeron, goes out for free agency after, 5 or 6 more years down the road, and he's like, so I've decided that I'm going to go play for the Montreal Canadiens because they're my hometown team. No, that is not okay because you're a Boston Bruin. You shouldn't be playing for the Montreal Canadiens. I get players have swapped back and forth, but it irks me, and I don't like it. Patrick Sharp, there's numerous teams. A lot of people think maybe he might go back to Philadelphia where he was originally. That would be a good fit for Philly. And Kevin Shattenkirk, of course, the big free agent, the big fish in the pond this year. Where could he go? Boston's an opportunity for him. There are tons of teams. It doesn't seem like he's going back to Washington. They don't have the money, nor I don't think he wants to go back because he already had an experiment there as a rental player. Washington gave up a lot to get him. It didn't pan out. He obviously needs to go to a team that needs defensemen. We'll see where it goes down the road. But the main reason we're talking about this show today, because I will do, and check this out tomorrow on Facebook, I will be doing a Facebook Live video at some point during the day tomorrow talking about the moves that have happened in free agency. I don't know what time yet. I don't know what time free agency ends. It doesn't necessarily end. There's just a stretch of time on television where, free agent frenzy may start at noon and then it ends at 5. So maybe after everything's happened throughout the day, and I'll check Twitter accounts and see what everyone's saying, and I'll get as much information to you as I can because I care. But basically, the Bruins. That's what we're here to talk about. The Bruins, my favorite team, Kyle's second favorite team.
Yeah.
When you buying that Penguin shirt, by the way, Kyle?
When I have more money.
Okay. Maybe
That's why subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the Facebook, so we can make money.
Yes, money is our friend, and I'm very fidgety, and I don't like it. But it's okay. We're just going to move on with it. So they have finally bought out the contract of Jimmy Hayes, and that experiment failed horribly. Horribly. We gave up Riley Smith to get Jimmy Hayes. I don't see the purpose of it because Riley Smith was at least a formidable player. I don't even know the words to say because Jimmy Hayes is that bad. And, he's a Boston guy. He's from Dorchester, and it didn't pan out for him. So $800,000, I believe, goes on this year's salary for a buyout on Boston's cap space, and $600,000 goes on next year. So it's not the worst thing, but it is extra money that we wouldn't be able to put towards another player. Not that I don't think we're getting anybody, but the experiment has gone away. We need to get rid of Matt Bolesky. This dude makes $4, not 1, not 2, not 3, $4 million that they picked up. Boston picked him up in free agency for. 4. I can't emphasize that number enough. And he's a third to fourth liner at best. He had one good year in Anaheim, and Boston said, "Oh, we need to go get him." Yeah, that's not working out because we're looking to actively trade him. So we need to get his contract off the books. Find a team that needs to get to the cap floor in Arizona, Vegas, something like that. Trade him there. I don't care if you trade him for freaking a ham sandwich and a jar of pickles and a draft pick. I don't care. Just get rid of him. We don't need him. We've got plenty of young players, as Don Sweeney says, because it doesn't seem to me like Don Sweeney's going to make any moves again, because apparently the Bruins are a very gun-shy team when it comes to free agents. And you'll say, well, Kevin, last year they spent all that money on David Backes. Yeah, that's great. It's David Backes, and he did a wonderful job, but he didn't do as good of a job, I think, as people thought. And the biggest problem with this is the Patriots. And you'll say, well, what do the Patriots have to do with this all? Because they can bring in free agents, and maybe it's just the coaching staff or just the way things have been. They don't lose. That's the thing. They win the division every year. Granted, it is a crap division. And they make it to the playoffs every year. And that's the expectation for the rest of the teams in the area. Obviously, they're just outside of Boston and Foxborough. For those of you who are paying attention, the Patriots do not play in Boston. They play in Foxborough. Learn to read a map, people. But, if the Red Sox go out and buy free agents, they don't win a World Series or they don't win a pennant or something, it's a lost season. Same thing with the Celtics. They're actually trying to spend money on big-name free agents this year. So I give the kudos to the Celtics this year for actually having the balls, or maybe in this term, the pucks, to do what you need to do. I think I like pucks better. Yeah. To, go out there and make a move. And I would love for Patrick Marleau to come to Boston. Kyle will tell you that Patrick Marleau is one of my favorite players. He's one of the reasons why I liked watching the Sharks. There was, of course, the Thornton factor, because I remember him from the Bruins. But I like Patty Marleau. I like his game. And if the top 6 for Boston if next year could come up to be, if Boston spent the money to buy a Patrick Marleau for maybe, they have $13 or so million in cap space. You get Marleau on a 2-year deal worth like $10 million, $5 million a year. You get Shattenkirk on a long-term, like 4-year deal for like, I don't know, $30 million, something like that. Give him $5 million. That still leaves you extra cap space. If your top 6 is Bergeron, Marchand, and Pasternak as the one line, and line 2 is Krejci, Marleau, and Backes, I'm happy with that. I'm completely happy with that. You need more goal scoring. We weren't a very good team goal scoring last year, and you can look at the Ottawa series as a perfect example. Nobody could score goals. When you had Nathan Horton, he was scoring goals with Krejci. He needs to have that person. Jerome McGinley didn't work out as well as he should have, but you've got the tough guy in Backes that helps protect Krejci and give him space. Now give him a scorer that he needs, like a Patrick Marleau. I'll take Patrick Sharp. I don't care. We just need some type of veteran presence to come into this team and help out. I can't deal with these rookies anymore. And I'm 50-50 on the fence of, do I wait for the future to come in? The wave of, Jake DeBrusk and all, Zachary Sitchin and all these kids that come in. I do like the nickname JFK for Jacob Forsback at Carlson. I just hope he doesn't get assassinated anytime he goes down to Texas. I'm sorry, it's a bad joke. I'm sorry, but it's okay. It's been long enough. JFK would have been 100 this year, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely will enjoy seeing the future come in. And of course, Charlie McAvoy coming up, and we still have Tuukka Rask. We have a great young team. This team can do things. We just need a couple, I think, of veteran players to piece in together, another defenseman, another big, top 4, if not top 2 defenseman, to pair with Chara or put him, just below Chara, so Chara doesn't get as many minutes, because that's been Chara's problem. He's almost 40 years old, if he's not already 40 years old. He's not going to be able to play the 35. He had the second most minutes on ice time in the playoffs last year. And he wasn't even in, he was in the first round? He was out. So that means for the rest of the playoffs that he still had the second most minutes in the playoffs. That's too much. Boston relies too much on him. He's out there for every time the first line of the other team's out there. He's out there for every power play, every penalty kill, every situation. And I get it. He's the captain. He's supposed to be there. But there are times where he made a mistake. Case in point, he made the mistake of throwing the puck over the glass in Game 2. What happened to the Bruins there? Gave up a power play, led to a power play goal, they lose Game 2. So instead of being up 2-0 in the series, now they're tied at 1-1, and then the wheels just kind of fell off after that. I think if Boston would have had, momentum, and I know people have been clamoring to get rid of Chara, I'm one of them. I love Chara. I think he's great, but his time has passed. If you're going to bring the rookies in, bring them in. The best thing for Boston to do, see how this year plays out. See how Chara does. If Chara's doing all right, and if someone wants to kick the tires on him, trade him at free at the trade deadline this year. Find a team that's looking for a veteran that can help with their Stanley Cup run. I wouldn't trade him necessarily to a team in the East, but a team in the West, maybe in Minnesota, maybe in Nashville. Oh, Chara in Nashville would be disgusting, by the way. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I'm just picturing it right now. Like, they were already good last year. Now you're adding Chara's shot with Subban's. That's a nasty 1-2 punch. So go out west. I mean, maybe trade him to San Jose. I mean, Jesus, I would take Marleau for Chara right now. Get Marleau signed, trade Marleau for Chara. I take it. A lot of people are like, no, you can't trade Chara. I'm going to leave off on this clip right here, or on this little tangent. You can't be in love with a player on your team. It's a business. As much as I love Bergeron and I love Marchand and I love Rask, it happens. Players get traded. I can't tell you how many jerseys I have of players from the Patriots or the Bruins, or shirts that I have of players that don't play with us anymore. Lucic is gone. Horton is gone. Boychuk's gone. All these players that I love to see are gone. And it sucks and it stings, but at the end of the day, you have to think, is it good for the team? If Don Sweeney doesn't make any moves, then he doesn't make any moves. Everybody needs to just be chill about it. And yeah, that's basically it. The only other thing that I'm forgetting is Hall of Fame. And people were elected into the Hall of Fame for the NHL portion of it. Words are hard, by the way. The highlights, the big names would be, I know off the top of my head, Teemu Selanne and Mark Recchi and Bruin owner Jeremy Jacobs have all been put into the Hall of Fame. I would get the rest of the list, and I apologize if I forgot anybody on my short list. I should have remembered all the names because we're here talking hockey, and I'm here just BSing with you. But until next time, my name is Kevin. Behind me is Kyle.
Yo.
Like us on Facebook. Check us out on YouTube. Twitter is soon coming. And remember, as we slow the pace down, you're one shot away from lighting the lamp.